Hi Alex, thanks for having me on this show. At the very bottom of my list, I got Holger Rune, followed by Alexander Zverev, who lost 14 of his last 60 matches against top 10 players. And at sixth place, I have Stefanos Tsitsipas, sadly, because I feel like he's one of the best players of this field, actually on indoor hard court. He got a huge serve. I just like his overall package with the great net play and his mental strength, but this is just based on recent events and results. So yeah, I had to place him here. Then at fifth position, I got actually Carlos Alcaraz, and I know people will torch me for that, but his match against Safiullin just hasn't been great. His second serve is just not really good for indoor hardcourt. I'm looking forward to him at this event. I think he's going to be better, obviously, than in his recent match against Safiullin, but I couldn't rate him higher. And at fourth, I have Andrey Rublev, always solid on indoor hardcourt. Then, bronze medaille, as we would say in German, I have Daniil Medvedev. I'm really looking forward to his 100th match against Alexander Zverev. No, I'm actually not. On second place, I have Jannik Sinner, whom I really like to watch on indoor hardcourt. I'm really looking forward to his match against Novak Djokovic, whom I actually got on first place. Who would have thought? Not me.
Ready? Play.
Good afternoon, good evening. I hope this light isn't distracting you too much, Mario, or anybody else tuning in. I may move my position, but right now that's how it is. How are you doing, Mario?
Well, I'm doing fine because I really like the tennis on the big stages. I'm liking these finals. I think they started pretty well with some tight matches, and even the other ones it was a high quality performance from Yannick Sinner. So yeah, looking forward to this one too because we have Medvedev and Rublev. Daniil has a huge advantage in the head-to-head, having also won the last two meetings. But we also know that Rublev is in big form lately. He likes to play here. Last year he won against Medvedev on this court. So who knows? It can really be a good one, and also played very few points.
I'm seeing a slightly different. Oh, I'm on the Nitto Finals website. I thought it was on the ATP website. But anyway, 6-2 is the head-to-head.
Yeah.
I think you're right. There's a couple of things about Rublev that makes me feel heading into this match that it might be more interesting. One is, I think you mentioned the fact that he beat him on this exact court a year ago. And I think a lot of Rublev fans can be encouraged by his performance against Novak in Paris-Bercy, right?
Yeah, for sure. He really played a good match, and I would also say that he hasn't been also bad in the loss he had in Vienna against Sinner. We know that it wasn't the match against Novak was even closer, but overall I'm seeing him in a really good shape, both physically, mentally, and technically too. He was in the Masters final in Shanghai and was super close to be there again in Paris. Actually, just 3 points away, and so yeah, there are encouraging signs. That's for sure. I still think that Medvedev is a quite solid favorite for this one, in my opinion, but we also know that the conditions also can here in Turin can help also having tight sets. I'm I wouldn't be shocked, for example, if this first set goes to a tiebreak, because both players, if they serve well, can really be dominant on this court. We've seen basically all the players, even last year and also this year, serving very well and being quite effective with that. So yes, I think that there is room to think about Rublev trying to push his good friend into a tight battle. Maybe will be not, but there is room to think about that.
Yeah, it was tied a year ago, right? I think it was it deciding set tiebreak, I think.
Yeah, 9-7.
9-7. Oh wow.
Yeah. I remember that in the first set, Medvedev won it after saving like 7 set points to Rublev,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
it was kind of feeling, oh, it's classic Rublev. And then he in that same match he was really good in stay close, into actually believe in his chances till the end, and then he got that win. So yeah, credits to him for what he did, and I think that he showed that he can play well in these conditions, also because he has two very solid baseline shots, the forehand, the backhand, especially the backhand has improved a lot lately, and he's also able um, to keep staying close to the baseline with his feet, even when the opponent's shots are coming deep, and uh, to not going backwards a lot, and that can be important, in my opinion.
Yeah. What about Sinner yesterday? I mean, he's probably the player that is being spoken about the most, maybe on home turf, playing the best tennis of his career. People are looking and very excited about that clash that's coming up tomorrow night against Djokovic. Do you think Sinner's got a good chance?
Well, I agree with you when we are saying that he probably is the player we are talking the most about, because aside from Djokovic, he looks like the most informed player right now. Well, I think that in my opinion, he has the chance to try to do something similar to what Rune did, even if they don't play similarly. But talking about being able to put your opponent in an uncomfortable position. If he serves well, in my opinion, that will be the key. If he serves well, then it will become a very tight contest, because we know that Djokovic is, especially in this kind of courts, his serve has got incredibly better over the years, and now he is a total weapon for him, especially when things are starting getting close. And if Sinner serves well, I see reason why people can think that, for example, from the baseline, he can try to put to create issues in Djokovic's game. Novak is going to enter the court as, I will say, that's again a solid favorite, in my opinion, still. But I think that even there, especially given the fact that Sinner looks high on confidence, is playing very well, I think that it might taken this contest into a tight battle. Then we will see how the big points will be played by both player, even in that case. So I'm still going with Djokovic in that one,
Okay.
but I think it can be a closer meeting than the one in Wimbledon, even if Sinner even had 2 sets points.
Yeah. What about the Djokovic Rune match last night? What was the difference for you between the two players?
Um, well, both played well. Rune played very, very well, in my opinion. But in the third set, even when Rune broke back immediately, I still never had really the feeling that Novak was going to lose that, because I saw him fresher physically. And he was also finding the key on the return. He was getting it to 30 quite often from the latest part of the second set onwards. And so I think that probably the physicality made the difference in the end. Rune still has a lot of of room to improve in that side of his game. And also I think that Rune can be more patient at times, because when he stayed patient, he really created issues in Djokovic, but at times he rushed too much, probably also because of this kind of endurance probably issues, because in the third set he wasn't as fresh as Novak was.
Yes, I'm just looking at as well at an interesting stat regarding Alcaraz, who, for those of you just tuning in, lost today in 3 sets to Alexander Zverev. So, in 4 of his last 5 losses, he's been broken in the first service game of the second set after playing an extended first set tiebreak. For example, the US Open against Medvedev, of course, he lost that tiebreak there. He lost against Sinner in the tiebreak. Of course, he won the tiebreak today against Zverev, and apparently the same thing happened to him against Dimitrov. That wouldn't be in Paris, so that would have been in Asia, probably in Shanghai, I guess. But anyway, there's an interesting pattern there. It might mean something, it might not, as Gil said. What were your thoughts on Alcaraz's performance today?
Well, I'm also here to consider not only the single match, but the overall latest part of the season. And so I'm going to say that I've seen an improvement in terms of the level. It has quite encouraged me that, because I've seen here more present also mentally than how he was even against Afulin in Paris. So for that one, it's for me, it was good to see that his level was better, but still he needs to improve even more and more, because he will face other Rublev and Medvedev, and at his current level, I can see how both can try to put him into some uncomfortable situation. I would say that he adapted quite well, in my opinion, to the conditions, even if he said that he was not that happy about the difference of the courts between Paris and Turin. But in my opinion, he adapted even a little bit better than I was expecting, and that shows how big are his qualities. But still, he's not in an overall great state, it seems, because there are a lot of ups and downs. Even in the first set, which he won, he broke back at some point in the middle of the set, and then he was already 1 minute after he was love 40 down. Then he held that game, and that helped him to get to the tiebreak and win the set. But there are a lot of ups and downs, and every match, if he's playing at this level, is still kind of a roller coaster lately.
Yeah, I know
But
what you mean.
also emotionally you feel it. There are times in which he's finding the groove, he's trying to get better at the level, and then suddenly maybe he does 2-3 let's say poor mistakes that put him back again into a vulnerable state. It's a bit of ups and downs, but overall I've seen something better than what I saw in Paris Bercy. So let's say that is quite encouraging, considering the next 2 matches that he will have to play. but also credit to Zverev because himself played better than he was playing in the latest in the few weeks coming up. Today his level was quite there, served really well, and he managed to stay calm under pressure. Even when he was serving for the match,
Yeah.
he struck an ace on down break point. He found that incredible shot. I don't know if if there's also a
The
little bit
Alcaraz
of luck.
forehand.
No,
The
the
Alcaraz.
backhand,
Oh, okay. Yeah, yeah,
that
yeah.
backhand down the line.
Yeah,
It
yeah,
was
yeah,
lob
yeah, yeah.
15 down, so could have been
Yeah.
lob 30. But
Yeah,
yeah,
that's. Oh, sorry. I know the one you mean. I think did Alcaraz laugh at that one?
yeah, lob. Yeah,
Yeah, yeah.
yeah. Yeah, I mean, amazing shot. There's also a little bit, I think, of luck also, but not because I want to underestimate a shot, because you also need it to make that one. But yeah, he played a good match, and as we were saying, probably this group is going to be really interesting and
Yeah.
tough for everyone.
Was really difficult to call. I found the first group quite an easy one to discuss the strengths and the weaknesses and what was likely to happen. But this one, I mean, at the end of our conversation on Saturday, it was like, well, who's going through? And it's like, I don't know. So because I didn't know, I decided to go boring and I went for Medvedev and Alcaraz, but just because I didn't know. One thing, by the way, that has happened already is that Rublev has saved a break point.
Yes.
Um, uh, I saw that Medvedev garnered that break point by actually coming to the net and putting away an easy volley. But then Rublev did eventually, I think he won the next 3 points in a row. So
Yeah.
that is good news for Andrey in terms of holding serve, although Medvedev is already looking comfortable here. For those of you tuning in thinking, I don't want to hear John, I want to hear Vanch, well, you've got some good news. He is on his way, but he is a little bit delayed. And when Vanch arrives, I will blend into the background. But for now, it's Mario and I. Hmm.
No, yeah, first game, by the way, first game, it always can be a bit tricky. So important for him to hold and still, still a bit early to say a lot.
What was Andrey complaining about there? I just saw him talk to the umpire about something.
Well, let's say that the crowd is not always, with flashes, with.
I see.
Uh,
Yeah, 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 yeah.
so
Is
probably
Andre
was.
charming the Italians like he did a year ago? I mean, a year ago we saw lots of social media stuff from him, and I think there was a lot of support for Andre in that tournament a year ago.
Well, there is. I cannot say otherwise. In Rome, I remember this spring because I went there for a few days, and yeah, there always was a very big crowd following him everywhere. But he yeah he's also very empathic to the fans, so this helps them to get and try to to get him.
Mario, you got a mention earlier as well in the live chat because I mentioned something
Ooh.
about the Carota boys. And I think Ghosty, you'll have to remind me, Ghosty, what you said, but I think it was in response to me talking about the Carota boys, and then Ghosty added something about you. But I can't it was in the previous match, I think. It was in the match
Okay.
we had this afternoon. But so Ghosty, my memory is so bad these days after all these beers in Seville that you're gonna have to remind me what it was that he said. Nerland, by the way, is here as well. Thanks for joining us. Make sure you hit the like button and make sure you
Well,
subscribe.
Medvedev started really well. Really well.
I'm probably about 30 seconds behind you, but I love that forehand inside out he's just hit.
I don't know. I just watched the passing shot.
Yeah, I'm about to watch it. Yeah. Oh, that's nice. Yeah.
And the screen is too early.
Yeah, but that's a nice one. I mean, you're obviously watching on Italian. Hi, Vanch, by the way. You're obviously watching on Italian
No,
TV.
no, no. I am on tennis TV.
Are you on tennis TV? Are you okay?
Yeah.
That explains why you're only a few seconds ahead and you're not 20 minutes ahead.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I prefer watching it here. I don't want to hear commentators. I just wanted the sound of the stadium.
We want to have, okay. So you've not got any. Okay, yeah, good. Yeah. Vanch, how do you feel about commentators and stuff? Are there certain ones that you turn down?
There's some that I prefer more than others.
That's a very diplomatic response. Listen, talking of diplomacy, we'll come back to the match in a second. But last night at the canteen where they gave free food away in Seville at the venue, I had a starter which I didn't really like very much. And when she came along and she said, "Oh, you didn't like your starter," I said, "Oh, I'm just saving some space for the meatballs." I said, "I'm just saving some space." She said, "Oh, good idea. Yeah, the meatballs are very nice." So that was my diplomatic response, which was as best I could come up with. Anyway, I'm going to leave you two to talk about this match, and I'm going to blend into the background.
Yeah, hi Vansh.
How are you? Yeah, apologies for being a little bit late, but I am catching this third game, so.
Yeah, we've seen this is already the fourth breakpoint Rublev saves tonight. Talking about Turin, I know for you it's not night at all.
Yeah, it's about 12:20 in the afternoon. So yeah.
But an interesting thing is that Rublev is kind of looking like that he doesn't want to be engaged in very long rallies. He's trying to be super aggressive. It's already the fifth time this game he comes to the net.
That's good. I like to see that. He did that very well last year when they played each other in the group stages. He was he was enough patient from the back of the court, but he also recognized that I can't get into these long skirmishes with Daniil and try to outlast him because it's not going to be a sustainable winning tactic, especially when you hit as big as
yeah, exactly. Oh, that's a good one.
Oh.
Oh, but then he missed a
volley
that didn't
seem
that difficult.
Yes.
Even if I also know that it came after all that that long and exhausting rally, but so good hold, important hold from love 40 down for Rublev.
Did you see what Rublev said about Medvedev before they played each other? It's like it feels like I'm dying slowly, and
yeah,
he kills me, but not in a way that Alcaraz does. It's very like he kills me with his patience, essentially.
Yeah. It's right. I also can understand why for the opponent can be sometimes unbearable. To face Medvedev when he's in a good day, because he has this way also keeping the ball flat, not despite being that solid from the baseline, still doesn't give you that much of a rhythm. And then also is able to outlast you physically also in the rally. We've seen, for example, Djokovic, out of all people, struggling against him in this. Especially we've seen that, especially in the U.S. Open final this year, Djokovic came really that much to the net. Yeah, also reason why, for example, Sinner was struggling a lot in this matchup early. It's definitely not easy to adapt to his game.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, Ghosty says, I'd rather die by Alcaraz if I have a choice. Probably me too. It's faster.
You can just say, "Oh, too good," That was
dying faster is better.
Yeah. The slow death is always the most painful.
Yeah, while Medvedev is 5 out of 5 so far on serve.
But this group is the most interesting because which two of these players are going to get to the semis is going to be fascinating to see. Like, I mean, we might be in a situation where like 3 players go 1 and 2, and then they're all battling for second place or something. Could turn out to
Yeah,
be.
it's. I can see a lot of things happening in this group, and especially after the first result we had in the afternoon. It's so tricky. At this point, I might even see that despite the loss, the set he won, Alcaraz can be important in the end. I don't know.
Yeah.
It's really difficult for me to make a prediction at this point. Yeah, I may say that. No, I really can't say anything. Oh my god, it's difficult. I would like to say, you know, that probably these 2 players that are on court right now have a chance at this point, probably. Because if Alcaraz is not that that high on level, maybe Rublev can cause him issues from the baseline. Trying to to play the match in a Sinner-esque way. I can imagine that, but at this point it's different to underestimate Zverev.
Yeah, I rate Zverev really highly, honestly, and
yeah, because
and indoors, and it almost didn't even matter. It doesn't even matter to me that he hasn't looked that great since the US.
Yeah, but
Open,
I have to say that this court can actually, really help me with his weaknesses, because his serve becomes even more effective. The forehand goes better. Today, the forehand was quite good.
It was. He had some really good passes, especially on the run.
Yeah, absolutely.
There was this one.
So at this point, I have to say that I'm quite liking his chances. Probably I'm going with him and Medvedev, but I may be right.
That's what I have. Yeah, that's what I had before the tournament, because I just felt like in these courts, they just kind of elevate his game when he's serving like that well. He becomes almost unplayable. I remember the matches he played against Djokovic and Medvedev back to back, and
especially that final. That finally, it totally was unplayable. The match lasted like 1 hour and was over. Medvedev was totally, no clue of what to do to break him. I really remember it. They are asking us if this court is faster than Wimbledon. Well, I would say.
Yeah, I think it's like the fastest court on tour. To be honest, it's so quick.
Probably the fact about Wimbledon and the grass can be, the difference in terms of the bounce. Can bounce probably lower than on this court. This court, the bounce should still be a little bit higher than, but there is also a little bit of altitude. As Djokovic explained that really well during the media day. Someone asked him, and even if he not, if it not may seem that much, but the players feel the difference. So yeah, I would say yes overall.
Yeah, I definitely agree. And obviously the grass, the tricky thing with that is the slick, low bouncing surface, and just how difficult it can be to move, and obviously the traction.
Yes, exactly.
Can't really slide. I guess what makes indoor tennis is like there's none of those outside elements, and it's just kind of a true blue hard court. Where I mean, also they're playing in altitude, so I think that really speeds it up even more. And Yeah, I mean the court pace index is already fast, but then you add altitude on top of that, and it just favors servers. I mean, for instance, last year we just saw such few breaks of serve. I mean, someone as great as Djokovic was struggling at times on the return yesterday against
Yes,
Rune, just
exactly.
because and some of that is just in the first match. It's so hard to just find your range on the returns and just get enough in play. Even it can be really tough.
Yeah, no,
Especially because
definitely.
yeah, and I saw Alcaraz even said that we play on slower conditions, most of this time in the build up, and then all of a sudden this is extremely quick. I like the element of having this extremely quick. I'd rather that it be extremely quick than extremely slow this time of the year, just given the wear and tear on the player's body and the season and how grueling it is. But
Yes, honestly, I just like variety.
yeah, I love
I'm also
because
one of these guys that gets annoyed if the speed is always the same. So for example, when the
yes,
clay season starts, I'm actually super happy and wow, amazing, the clay season is starting. And then we have
yeah.
the grass and I'm still, wow, we have the grass again. Yeah,
Basically, we
I
just
am
we
like
just love tennis. We're gonna watch it no matter what. So it's just
exactly.
yeah. Oh, somebody is asking how high is Turin Ghosty. It's like 300 meters high, so it's not like Madrid levels, but it's a
Uh,
little bit
yeah,
more than sea level for sure.
it shouldn't be like it's
Yeah,
not like Madrid. It's yeah, definitely.
yeah,
Um, I just get confused because I always don't know if people are talking with the metric or the imperial system.
yeah. Oh my
Uh,
goodness, dude, this is one thing about America. If anyone's listening, I mean, it's just like we just have to have a different system. It's just it it's a little annoying when I'm talking to people outside of the US because I'm like, why can't we just be like everyone else? We just have to be different. And we just have to use Fahrenheit. We just have to use miles per hour. We just have to use you know uh, feet and inches and miles and that's
yeah,
just someone
the
decided that.
speed is the only thing that didn't really don't really bother me because
Yeah,
as long following tennis I got used
you got
to
used to
all
it.
that.
Yeah,
So
you can tell roughly that a
yes,
216
exactly.
serve is like
Yes, yes.
135 or so. Yeah.
Yeah, so Rublev hold for the first time without needing to save a break point.
Mm,
We've seen uh, we've seen something interesting so far.
yeah.
Um, let's see if he can, get in also in the return games now.
Hmm.
Oh my God, okay, now I'm back. I lost the stream for a moment, and I was in my intent to retake him.
Yeah. Medvedev
Yeah.
just
So
played as
what?
a very aggressive points. He just played a very
Mhm.
aggressive point at 30 love that was is very typical, kind of grinding the opponent down and then waiting for the time to change direction, and he executed that really well.
Yes,
So good for
apparently
40
there's
love.
been an incredible shot. Probably I'm seeing that now.
Yeah.
No.
Um, although this is
He-
this is the one thing that Rublev has to keep doing is try to get on
yes,
Medvedev
yes,
early and just
exactly.
attack his second serve because
Yes,
step in, take it
definitely.
early, take it on the rise. This is something that Sinner
Definitely.
has been doing really well, and same with Alcaraz.
Even because Medvedev can also become a little bit tight on the second serve.
Yes,
You have to feel that you're there. You have to
you
feel
do.
your
Yes.
presence.
And I also don't think he has a brilliant kick serve on the second serve, and
No,
you know that almost always he's going to go to that kick serve, so it's a little predictable. And so if you can
no,
get on it
is
early and you can get him as soon as he's recovering after the service motion, that's usually the best time because then you're all of a sudden then now you're in his trap, and if you don't attack right away, then
Yes,
He's
no,
just having to.
I totally agree.
Yeah. But at the same time, he also just kills any momentum by just holding it low a lot of the times and just breezing through
Yeah,
his
the
service
return is
games.
out, so he held.
Yeah, so pretty routine. Obviously had the 1 point dropped, but I think that's how a lot of these service
Oh
games
yeah,
are,
1 point
gonna
drop,
go.
and
To be
he
honest,
was already up 4-love. So
yeah.
oh, that's good.
Yeah, that's very good. And obviously, I mean, this is great for Rublev if he can keep hitting that wide serve over and over and not have to go to the net, and he
Oh
can
yeah,
just finish it right from the baseline. And
it's really been
he's one of the
important
few players who can do it.
to save those break points early, because then we know that Rublev can gain also in confidence throughout the match and starting
Yeah,
hitting better and better, and then it may become difficult.
yeah. Another thing I think he's improved tactically this year, Rublev, is he's opening
Yep.
up the court a little bit better, using the angles a bit more, recognizing that I don't always have to hit hard linear pace against the likes. So I think that's really helped him, for example, in the Zverev matchup, where he's been able to win 3 now in a row, and he just feels a lot more comfortable from the baseline against these counter punchers. It's a different story with Medvedev. Obviously, there are 2 meetings this year, but I still think he's doing a better job of that tactically in most of his matches. That's good. That
Yeah, no.
increases his floor a little bit more.
I've really followed Rublev this year, honestly. So I really can say that he improved a lot, even if maybe may go a little bit under the radar because of his people maybe call this kind of one-dimensional tennis, but actually there's been a lot of improvement, and
How
not
about the
only
backhand?
yes,
Going bigger down the
exactly,
line and just a lot stronger. It used to be much
taking
easier
it
to.
taking it early,
Yeah.
very good.
No, I agree with you on the improvements. I think I've seen some tangible things this year that just make me feel a little bit better, because it seemed like for about 2 or 3 years there he was kind of the same player. And
Yes,
but it's just a matter of maximizing what you really have, because when you're 25, 26, I mean, it's not really about like just making major changes, right? It's just the thing that you just have to keep slowly adding to your game, but the foundation and the way you play doesn't change much. So that's um
here I didn't understand
oh,
why he hasn't come forward, but this
yeah,
is another thing that he has improved, that has to be said.
I
But
know.
here he was already basically there.
Yes, that is the thing. Yes, it's a bust. Yes, he apologized for that. So that's good that he did that. But yes, I remember that comment last year in the round
Yeah,
robin.
I saw that Trevisan has become, a major unit in this chat.
Oh yeah, I think Ghosty is a big Trevisan person, which
Wow.
yeah, is interesting.
I
Yeah.
am I am more for Jasmine Paolini.
Yes, she really
Oh,
packs quite a
oh,
punch for her size, for sure. Oh my
why?
goodness.
Why he do that? Oh my God.
Oh wow.
That's basically been, for who's not watching and just listening to us, that basically been a serve volley, or maybe it was the third shot he played, and
Yeah.
you know uh, uh you know
Yeah, he made a mess of that.
he
I like the idea, but it's just
remember me, no, it's not a forehand volley,
swing
oh
volley,
my God.
swing volley,
Yes, exactly,
swing or
totally,
drive. It's
totally.
the same thing. Yeah,
Yes,
drive
exactly.
volley. Yes.
Dry volley, yeah. Totally went long.
Yeah, that could prove very costly for this set. Um, I don't hate the intent though. I definitely think he hit a pretty decent serve. Actually, he could have. He decided last minute. He decides to take it in the air, and might have been better off just going to the continental forehand grip. But I've noticed a lot of the times for Rublev, that's the difficult part when he's at the net. He doesn't always change to continental grip just enough time. In fact, he prefers not to use the continental grip on a lot of his volleys. So, but yeah, that was one of those late.
Yeah, there is a
adjustments
break,
don't work out.
and it was in the air, honestly.
Yeah. Hmm.
But we also have to say that Medvedev still has to eat one unforced error, according to
he is not giving
according to the
anything away. It's yeah, I think the stats are right. I think I've maybe only seen one so far. He's been really like extremely ungiving.
Yeah, and let's see if he just can hold now the next two service games. Oh, very aggressive return from Rublev. That's good.
Yeah. That is basically the game plan, and I think that's going to be a tactic that will work well against Alcaraz as well if they play each other for the first time.
Oh, long rally. Wow, very good. Very good from Rublev, closing it with a forehand down the line.
Yeah.
So he's trying to force and immediately a break back, lot 30.
Yes. That that's exactly the play. You open up the court with angles. You get Medvedev way behind the baseline, and then you take the chance and go down the line.
Read the last comment. Medvedev always stands about 3.5 Trevisons behind the baseline.
Oh my goodness. Nice. I like that Trevisan has become a a noun in that way.
Yeah, fuck metric imperial system.
Yeah.
So there's another rally, and there's a chance for Rublev.
Yeah. Actually, Medvedev is serving under 50% right now. 44% for serves in.
That's good. This time the dry volley. So we have 2 break points.
Wow. Yeah. This would be really good for Rublev if he got the break back.
Yeah, especially
just kind of forget about that
especially game. Yeah, exactly. Forget about the the final point, especially the way he basically gifted that break.
Yeah, he almost got the same shot again, and that's got a chance to rectify it. So, but let's see if he can actually break here because Medvedev is still winning a lot behind his first serve when it goes in. And just like that, 2 aces and just completely erased.
Wow, 3 aces this game. The 3 points he got.
Oh, this time Medvedev actually went bigger on the second serve, but Rublev was ready with it, and now they're in a baseline rally. Okay, that was I like the redirect down the line, and then I like the move forward.
Wow, this is very, very good stuff
Yeah.
from Rublev again. And in this game, the tables are a little bit turning because in the baseline game, Rublev has been superior.
Yes, two very good points to this game from the baseline by him, and it was the forehand down the line that did the damage both times. But also the forehand angle short cross to get Medvedev in a compromised
Yes,
position.
exactly.
So that's
so far Medvedev only got points from aces in this game.
Yeah. And all of a sudden it's second serve break point. I'm curious to see what Rublev does here. Oh, and Medvedev goes big on the second serve, and this time he's able to force an error by coming forward. So Medvedev is sneaky in that way. Sometimes he'll throw in those two big serves, or he'll come to the net when you're not expecting it, or he'll be sneaky aggressive and make you think that he's just playing passively, but he's always just the wheels are always just turning in his mind, and that can be tricky. Medvedev is also looking to break a very interesting streak that he has with the Paris Masters, because usually the past 4 years, like the Paris Masters has been an indicator per se of how he does at the World Tour finals.
Yeah, no, which is also strange because we know that the conditions are pretty different, especially since they moved to Turin.
Oh yeah. But I also think last year was a little bit fluky, like losing those 3 matches. In third set tiebreaks, like all 3. I mean, what are the chances of that? Like if just one just goes his way, it's very rare that something like that happens.
I'm super sure that he served for the match both against Djokovic and Tsitsipas. I don't remember
Tsitsipas, both. Yes, you're right. You're right. He served for both, and both times he had won the. We won the second set, I believe, in a tiebreak. Against Tsitsipas, he won the second set in a tiebreak. It was a really long tie. It was like 13-11 in the tiebreak, and then he. And then he served for it and then got broken.
If you remember, he saved the match point with an incredible smash 5 meters behind the baseline.
Yes, and he let it bounce, and then he went for it, and it was he was so far behind the baseline for that. That was ridiculous.
It was crazy. I was like, okay, now it's over. And
no.
Yes.
Oh man, yeah. Yeah, this is where Rublev has to be careful. He doesn't just lose his composure a little bit, because actually so far he's done well to keep it together. He could have gotten frustrated, I think, just with that smash and then not converting one of these chances. So he has to make sure he doesn't let this carry over into his service game, and he at least makes Medvedev serve it out.
Yes, because then you make him serve first in the second set, and then he can hold again.
And then and then he just needs one break, and then it's 6-3 again. So that's why it's like I always feel like it's such a psychological difference when you're playing a big server. If you get a chance to serve first, just keep your nose in front, because all of a sudden a 3-2 lead when you're ahead in the set, and you just need one break, and then it's 6-3 versus. You always feel like you're trailing if you're serving second. Okay, well, he's still very much in this game. I think I'm like a point behind, honestly. I'm at 15-30 right now with the.
I'm 15-32.
Okay, cool. Yeah, a rare second serve.
Should be the first. Should be the. No, the first maybe not, because that's volley, but the second. According to the tennis TV stats, it's the first. But.
Oh, okay. Is it? Yeah, the first on the forehand for sure, right? Or I mean, the first on the backhand ground stroke, right?
They simply are not counting that volley.
Interesting. Yeah. Maybe they think it was forced from the pressure from. But you can debate. You can debate that. Yeah, that's definitely arguable.
It's out. So deuce. He's just trying to rush a little bit. He has to,
Yeah,
last
he has
game
to-
he was really good.
Mm.
Right now he's rushing a little bit too much.
Mm. That was a close serve. I think he'll have a look at the replay. 213 down the tee. So let's see if it caught some bit of the line.
Out.
Yeah, it was just out. Okay, so second serve.
Yeah, by the way, last it was Saturday when we did the ATP Weekly. I was saying that in the previous two Turin edition, Medvedev had not really had the match in which he really convinced me, and he seemed that he took that quite personally since he's
You're
playing
saying he
really,
heard you, and then
yeah, he's
Yeah,
playing
yeah.
really well today.
Wow,
Honestly,
yeah, that's true. I mean, 2021. Let's see, who did he play in 2020? I mean, he played a good semi against Rude, but also very favorable matchup.
3-set wins over Sinner, 10-8
Yeah,
at the
Sinner.
deciding tiebreak.
Okay, interesting. Yeah, I remember that one.
Zverev.
That was the one
beat
where
him-
he yawned.
Yes.
Yeah, that was that one. Yeah.
Against Zverev, 3 sets, and 3
Okay,
sets
yeah.
also against Urkac in the group
I
stage.
see. Yeah. You're right. He wasn't very convincing in a lot of those matches. Ended
No,
up coming through,
honestly.
but
Yeah. And then, of course, the final against Zverev. Even if that day Zverev was, very, very good. So,
yeah.
And then last year, I mean, was quite poor, especially in the big moments.
Sure. Yeah. No, I that kind of makes sense. I think the O2 Arena courts were more favorable for him because they were quick, but they weren't as lightning quick as this, where he can get rushed sometimes. Or at least right off the serve, or just maybe for the way he likes to play, it can actually be almost too fast. I wonder if there's something to that.
But today he's playing very, very good performance so far. So
yeah,
I have to say that he's convincing me so far.
Yeah, he gets the reward for he still gets the reward for in terms of his ground stroke staying very low. That always helps Medvedev, especially when it's medium to fast, low bouncing. He gets that zip with the courts.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, I mean he was quite good, for instance, in Rotterdam this year, which was very, which is on the slower side, indoors, but it's still indoors and it's low bouncing, and he still gets the reward on the serve. And he missed it. Yes,
that's a bad mistake. Yeah.
Yeah.
So we are love 30 again.
A little bit of a gift there. So let's see. Yeah, a couple of unforced errors in this game.
I'm not super sure this one.
Yeah, this one could go either way. Let's see what the replay is.
Oh no, it's out. It's long.
Yeah, it looked a lot closer on the.
Yeah, I mean it's also the perspective you have.
Yeah.
Oof. So shaky this one.
Oh man.
And he lost the point.
Yeah, he did not finish when he had the chance.
I have to say that despite everything, it's not a bad idea.
Yeah.
Because of course, with Medvedev, you have to take the time away from him. So it's not a bad idea.
Yeah.
Double fault. So again,
shaky
break
game.
points. Other break points for Rublev. Are you watching the afternoon matches, or is it too early?
No, I watched Alcaraz Zverev today, and I watched the second set of Tsitsipas Tenor, but I caught up on the first set. So yeah, it's a little earlier than I would like. It's like 5:45 a.m. before 6.
Not impossible.
Yeah, not impossible. I can still manage it.
Good serve. So back at deuce.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Another
you can really
backhand.
see how much more variety he has from the backhand side.
Yeah. And variety doesn't always just mean slices and drop shots and this thing.
No. Variety
It
for me,
means
also
it means
direction.
giving different looks, like changing directions often, stepping in, sometimes pulling back, playing defense, sometimes higher balls. So he's learned, he's doing a little bit much better job of that this whole year.
Yes,
in general, whereas before you could just expect, I'm going to get a neutral ball that's in my backhand corner, and he's just going to be able to trade and he won't miss, but he can't really hurt you. Now opponents know he can actually hurt you, so that's, or at least do a better job of setting up the forehand, which he likes to do. So that's just still the main weapon. So that's, that I do think is a little underrated for him right now. Except on that one, he just didn't have the right
finally
footwork,
set
and maybe
point
just overcooked it.
after having saved 6 break points over the last two service games.
Yeah.
That's another good return. Very deep from Andrey.
Yeah.
Yeah, Medvedev is having a hard time on the second serve.
Yes, yeah. Still not serving his best.
At
this match
least
for
in
sure.
terms, at least in terms of in which position he has to hit the third shot.
Mm.
And then we
That's
have another
that,
break point.
Yeah, and that's another good example of Rublev's backhand, right there. Just taking a little bit of pace off the ball, hitting it short, and going inside out. That's not.
Yeah.
That breaks the pattern of going backhand to backhand and allowing Medvedev to get into that baseline rhythm. So that's a smart play.
Oh my God, another good serve.
Oh yeah.
At least break
He's
point down.
He's not getting the clutch serves. Yeah, he's not getting the clutch serves when it's game point or deuce sometimes, but he's getting it break point down, which is helping him out. There's some discussion with the umpire on
something
the balls.
with the balls.
Yeah, something.
Yeah, I didn't really understand what happened at the balls, but because I missed the first part of the conversation.
Yeah, same. I don't have the sound on right now for the audio.
Here,
wow.
almost as a goalkeeper.
Yeah, he just stuck the racket out and just
Yes.
tried to get his. Yeah.
And then he stared at someone. Second serve again on set point. Oh, wow. Very good approach with a backhand again.
Yeah.
And then actually a volley winner to save the
good.
second set point. I still have seen all his insecurities at the net, but actually the volley in the end has been good.
Yeah. I like the fact that he's trying it more, at least giving himself
absolutely,
more
but
chances.
in my opinion, it's his way also to try to close on the gap that there is in this matchup so far. Well, that's a very good forcing. Medvedev wants more from the crowd.
He definitely has a better relationship with crowds in Italy than he does in France, that's for sure.
Oh yeah, I mean, it's not difficult.
Very, very, different relationship.
Yeah, Medvedev can be the second straight player to win both in Rome and Turin in the same season, after Djokovic did it last year.
Yeah.
A double fault. Here probably he also paid a little bit on the legs. The last rally.
I'll be right back really quickly. Just use the restroom.
More than 10 minutes already into this game. Another deuce. A fourth set point. The ace from Medvedev. Let's see if he manages to find a first serve. Yes, but the rally starts. And he closes it with a very good forcing with a forehand. 6 games to 4 in a set that actually in the end was very close, because Medvedev had to save 7 break points, 3 in the previous service game and 4 in this one, if I'm not wrong on the numbers, but it should be like that. But in the end, he closes it out after 55 minutes. Rublev came to the net 13 times and won 13 time and won 11 points, but one of the only two he lost was the one that gave Medvedev the break, which actually has been a deciding factor in this set, even if then he had plenty of opportunities to try to break back, even if actually 6 out of 7 break points Medvedev faced ended with a big first serve winner. So not really that many regrets in terms of how those points have been played, but still, you know, so Daniil won the first set, just like he did last year against Rublev here. And actually, in all the matches they've played against each other, because even in Cincinnati, in both the times Rublev beat Medvedev, he lost the first set. So it's not an unfamiliar territory for him. So 57 minutes of play, actually quite long for a 6-4, but you know, a lot of tight and close games, which can explain the fact. And now let's see if Rublev holds in this first game of the second set, which will be very, very important. Lap 30, we already have a slight opportunity. And lap 40, 3 break points. And again, a second serve. That's out, this passing shot. Yeah, by the way, I agree with what Jake is saying, that Rublev has found ways to make this head-to-head closer. Match-up may be better word. Yeah, because you know, we've spoken about a lot of his improvements, but I also agree that still, you know, this is played more on Medvedev's terms, but overall I think that he you know, both can play tennis at an incredible level, and Rublev too. But I still think that Medvedev has something more. At least let's say like that. I think that Rublev has to play in a way that can be a little bit unsustainable at times in this matchup, and if he manages to do so, well, yeah, we have close matches, and we also can have, we have a couple of wins for him. But overall, I think Medvedev can play safer and still get a lot from this matchup. By the way, Rublev has saved all 3 break points, and the net has, probably Rublev went out of rhythm on this forehand, so we have a 4th break point for the former number 1. And this time he has to play with a second serve. And here we have the break. So Medvedev is looking in charge of a win, a straight set win, which can really be important, because he will make him top the group after the first day of matches.
Hey Mario, can you hear me all right?
Yeah.
Tell me, what have I missed? Because I missed that first set, basically, or I missed it in the beginning.
I mean, Medvedev looked the better player at the beginning, and actually got a break in the 7th game, I think it was. No, the 6th. Yeah, it was the 6th game. But then after he got the break, actually the first set became really tight, because Rublev had 7 chances to break back. Not many regret though, because Daniil has saved 6 of them with serves winner. But then this set has started,
I see.
With Rublev getting a little bit out of sort.
And Mario, I think you were just touching on it. If this group is super tight, and 2 or 3 players win 2 matches, or all 4 win 1 match or something, then I think it will come down to sets, right?
Yeah, and also I think that also in this group, probably given Djokovic's presence in the other group, in this group can be even more important to be first.
Yeah.
Because if you think that Djokovic can, end his group at the first place, being first here in the red group may make you avoid him in a potential semifinal. So I would really find important for Medvedev a win in a straight set win tonight, because he would top the group. It's still early but it's not like the Premier League. It's early, but not so early.
It's only 3. Yeah, it's 3 matches, isn't it? But I know what you mean, because it's quite possible that we have 2 or 3 players win 2 matches, and therefore, as you said, with the sets, it could be the difference between coming first and second. It could be the difference between coming second and third.
Yeah, I mean, you should remember that Nadal was a victim of that in 2019. Because he
lost his first match in straight sets to Zverev.
Yeah, and he won 2 out of 3 matches, but since even Zverev and it was Tsitsipas, I think, 1-2-2. The set ratio was lower for him, and he went out of the group stage. So everything is important. Every point, every game that you may win can make the difference.
Oh, drop shot. Did that work from Medvedev? Did he lose the point or not? He's going to have a look. Maybe it landed out.
I don't know.
You're ahead of me, so you can tell me. Did this drop shot land in?
I was talking to you. Probably I just overwent that point because
it landed out.
I actually didn't know what drop shot you were talking about.
It was a kind of it's more or less a drop shot. I mean, it was a sort of a shortish ball that he deliberately put. But there's a reason why Medvedev doesn't do those shots very often, because that one landed out.
Yeah, also because I didn't know if you were ahead or behind.
Oh, behind. Most of the time I'm behind because I'm using Sky Sports.
Yeah, okay.
And they're a little bit, especially on the application anyway, it's a bit behind. Also with football, I have to turn off notifications if I'm watching a football match because it's about 30, 40 seconds behind. Has this been then a bit more of a typical Medvedev-Rublev match?
Well, probably yes, but I also have to say that, Rublev had the chances to break back. But yeah, basically, as you can read in the comments, Medvedev made his first unforced errors in the 8th game of the match. Basically, it's a classic Medvedev performance, honestly.
Yeah.
Probably the best I've seen in play since the US Open so far.
Okay, that's good news for him. Not good news for Rublev, of course.
No, and probably not for everyone.
I'm just seeing him gesticulate to the crowd like this, Medvedev, in the only way he can. No fingers so far from Daniil.
Because I was, we were talking about how this group could be, balanced, but I won't be even shocked if Medvedev went out with a 3-0 score, for example. It may happen.
There was, to be honest with you, I think pretty much any permutation, any results from this group. I mean, I think, yes, I probably would be surprised if Rublev won all 3 matches, but it could happen. I mean, not so much now, but I mean, before the tournament started, maybe he beats Medvedev and beats Alcaraz and Zverev. Equally, Zverev, I think, could win all 3, but probably right now we are looking at Medvedev being the most likely. I still, despite New York, I am finding it difficult to imagine Medvedev finding it comfortable against Alcaraz, but I could be wrong.
Comfortable not, but probably this condition can help him a bit in the matchup, because it may, make that more serve return depending. Yeah, so overall, I would say that, that's also why a straight set win can really be important. And also having Alcaraz lost in the first match, Medvedev is going to face Zverev in the second match if he wins tonight. And then if he somehow manages to beat even Zverev in straight sets, and then it's over, he can even lose to Carlos.
Yeah.
So that's why
have you been to this? Have you been to this event yourself before, Mario? I think you were 2 years ago.
Yes, yes, I've been there 2 years ago. Yeah, it was the first year I was there. It's nice. I haven't been to London, so I can't make a comparison. I was really affectionate to London, but from the television, from my memories. But I haven't been there, so my experience was
I haven't
nice.
either. I haven't either been to London, but I miss it as well. Even though I never was there, I'm kind of sad that it's not there anymore. But Turin has it until 2025, and I don't know whether it will go back to London or whether it will go somewhere else after.
Yeah, I really have no clue. I just know that they will, of course, try to to make this a 10-year.
Oh, really? Okay.
From the federation, I mean the Italian federation, they will try to run for extending the partnership.
Yeah. Yeah.
But yeah.
Oh, Mario, commiserations for Italy in the final of the Billie Jean King Cup.
No, but I'm actually very pleased with their performance that last week. They played really well. I actually like Paulini that much.
Yeah.
I find her a very much improved player
Yeah.
this year, and honestly, I'm affectionate to her because it's still the only the first and only player so far I had a 1-to-1 too. So
Oh, okay.
yeah,
Nice.
and I actually was alone in the press conferences during the whole week. She won her biggest title of her career 2 years ago in Porto
Ah,
WTA
yeah.
250. And the whole week I was there in the press conferences, and I was the only one. So basically, we all had these 1-to-ones, and I had another one then in Parma last year.
Okay.
So I'm really, really close to her story, and I know her really,
Yeah.
really well.
Yeah. Yeah. I find her very simpatica.
Yeah, yes, I agree with that.
Yeah. And both her and Trevisan were really pretty. I mean, listen, I was saying this to Nick earlier that I think a lot of players, a lot of teams, they come to this event at the Billie Jean King Cup and they're like, we want to win, but we're also here to have a nice time. We're together as a team. But when you get close to winning, like Italy were, in the final anyway, then it becomes painful when you don't. Because Trevisan and
For sure, yeah.
Paolini were really upset not to win.
Yeah, that's for sure. When you get to the final, I mean. And then of course the very sad news we had from the Italian captain, which she revealed that she's suffering from a rare cancer form. She had the first surgery before the Billie Jean King Cup, and still has been able, fortunately, to be there, because I'm really glad she has been able
Yeah.
to live this moment. And now she will have to undergo a second surgery, and everyone will pray for her to
Yeah.
win
I
her
didn't
her
know
battle
that. When did she reveal that news?
after the final. It
Oh,
was a bit
mate.
shocking for me personally. It was a bit shocking.
Oh, wow. I didn't
uh,
know that. So she probably
Probably
did
the
that in
players,
Italian.
I think that the players knew that, in my opinion. I
Yeah.
don't think that she told them to the players after the final. But as for the journalists, media, the all the tennis environment was not aware of that, and it's been the result of losing the final came in. Uh, we couldn't care. There are more important things right
Yeah.
now.
Yep. I'm just seeing it now. Just seeing that. I just Googled the news. Well, fingers crossed. So she had her first surgery in October and will have another procedure in a few weeks. She was trying to stay positive in the press conference afterwards. She was trying to keep positive, and the players were obviously really upset not to have to have won. But okay, I didn't know that.
Yeah,
That's
but you have also to consider the whole process of the team, and this result feels really, really huge.
yeah.
Another very good game here from Medvedev, who is
But you said Medvedev was threatened on his serve towards the end of the first set, right?
uh in the first set. He could have served a little bit better in terms of the percentage, but he basically was great on the break point. When he was break point down, he
Got it.
he served really well when he needed to. So yeah, also, credit to Rublev because he let him feel a bit of pressure on the second serve. But right now he's in his groove and he's really doing very, very well.
The Italian media guy, I think his name was Marco, but anyway, I know what he looked like. He was good, but he was quite strict. So, for example, on the first day, I had or one of the early days, I had a 1-to-1 with Trevisan, I think, and he said 2 questions, and I was like, okay, like for the 1-to-1, and I asked 3, but one of them was kind of like I said something, then she said something, then I said something, but it was still, in my opinion, was still as part of one question. After the interview finished, he said, "I told you 2 questions."
Oh my God! How did you find her?
How did I find this? Is a Billie Jean King Cup, so it was a 1-to-1. Oh, you mean what did I think of Trevisan?
Yeah.
Yeah, fine. I mean, I know that maybe she has, moments, but the 1-to-1, she was fine. Yeah. But I know that maybe she's probably not as, as open, if you like, or as open, I would say, as Paolini.
Yeah, totally.
Probably find her a little easier. But Paolini remembered me from Tunisia. Now, I don't know if that's because she remembered me from a press conference, or I saw Paolini, and this is going to make you wonder. I saw her at 4 a.m. in the hotel reception on the Monday morning, but that's because she was going to the airport.
Mm.
So I saw her, and I'm not sure if she remembered, because we said hello then as well. And I'm not sure she remembered me in Seville because of the hotel 4 a.m. thing before she went to the airport, or because of the press, or maybe both. I don't know.
Actually, knowing them better, Trevisan is more positive,
Okay.
more optimist than Paolini. Paolini tends a lot, even if she's really nice, funny, but she tends a lot to be harsh on herself.
Okay.
I found really this, even in press conferences, which all of them came in very big moments for her, but she was really perfectionist, say like that.
So Rublev was 40-15 up here, and a really good cross-court shot there from Medvedev at 40-15. But now they're back at deuce. Do you think Medvedev can cause Djokovic more problems here than he did in the US Open final?
In my opinion, this matchup is not really surface depending.
Okay.
Maybe I would even say that for Djokovic can even be a little bit better because this surface maybe is not that physically demanding as probably the US Open, but at the same time, Medvedev really makes you work that much for any single point, and he turns Novak.
Yeah. Baseline points 1, Medvedev 39, Rublev 23. Yeah, that's what, and Jake is just reiterating that in the chat as well. And if you're not winning your baseline points, Ruby, that's it's not good news for someone who I would suggest is relying mostly on his baseline play. This is a good point. Ends with a lovely backhand down the line winner from Rublev.
Yeah, even if I think when we talk about the ultimate baseline player, I still think about Daniil.
Okay, yeah, fair enough. But Daniil still has more than that with the serve and
yeah, I agree, but it doesn't surprise me.
Yeah,
that
true.
that Daniil wins many more points on, for example, one of the keys for Sinner to turn things a little bit around has been being more, coming forward more, being more aggressive, taking him the time away from him. And that has been the main key.
And now it's looking very good for Daniil. Very good. I was thinking
Oh.
one break. Yeah.
Yeah, he fell down.
Yeah. Some shots into the net as well in the previous two, some couple of unforced errors. I mean, they were kind of forced because the shots from the previous shot from Medvedev was pretty deep. So Rublev was taking it a bit earlier than I'm sure he would have liked. But both of those two were unforced errors going into the net. And I'm now watching the break point, the one that Medvedev break. Oh, dearie me, I see what you mean. Oh, okay, he slipped, yeah. And he's annoyed.
No, oh my god. Sorry.
Go on.
Yeah,
he's upset with the surface that he slipped on. Because, I mean, he should have done more with the volley, but still,
that's for sure.
probably
But still,
he wins the point.
Yeah, he wins that point. The passing shot was in the center.
Yeah, yeah.
I mean, if he doesn't do a disaster on that volley, he wins the point, in my opinion.
And the audience who don't have access to watch this on TV, you will not be surprised he's not taking it very well. Ruby. I'm just watching it again.
You like to see him falling down?
No, I just want to see it again so I get a better understanding of what happened.
Yeah. I understand.
But yeah, typical Ruby. It's like he just can't believe it. I mean, of course, he was already a breakdown, and it only goes back to juice if he wins that point. So you never know, but yeah. The other thing that makes this all the more interesting is that they're really good friends, aren't they?
Yeah, sure. He's been the godfather of Medvedev's son, not daughter. Sorry.
Yeah.
Alisa. So they are actually very close friends. But maybe Rublev doesn't really like to step on the court to face Daniil.
No. So 4-1, double break. Childhood buddies, Jane says. Jane, this must be a little bit painful for you right now, obviously being a Ruby fan.
Rublev hit a dry volley and he accidentally hit his hand.
Oh no.
But it's the right one, so probably I don't know, he felt something. Okay.
Oh yeah, I see that now, yeah.
So what do you think about Daniil's chances now, especially after the first match?
In such a tight group, Mario, you're gonna react very dramatically in a way to the first match because, I think a straight sets win, say to the cost of just 6 games or 5 games or whatever it turns out to be, Although on the other hand, arguably this is the one match that Medvedev has to win. So I just think
about the matchups. I can see more Rublev beating, Zverev more than Medvedev, for example.
Right, exactly. But therefore, because of that, Medvedev was a favorite for this, and therefore he has to win this one because this is the one that if you lose this one, then suddenly you're under pressure against Carlos and Zverev. Maybe for Rublev, – he's probably got to beat Carlos, and he can. That was a horrible double fault, by the way, for Medvedev.
Yeah,
the second serve flung off
let's
the top
say
of his racket.
that. Let's say that. But yeah. No, sorry, I was watching a replay. I was saying that, yeah, for sure, Carlos should be a bit less solid than Medvedev. So even if he can defend the court really, really well, but still, he can be. There's a little more chance that he's being, more erratic during the match, missing some more balls if he's not feeling the ball really well. Yeah.
Also, Carlos's confidence is maybe not at the same level it was 3 or 4 months ago.
Yeah, he can also suddenly peak playing a great match, of course. But talking about just in terms of a matchup, logic. Still, there's a little bit more of an hope that Carlos misses something more.
Yeah, I mean, listen, I think the Carlos Rublev matchup should be a bad one for Rublev at the end of the day, at the end of their careers. Whenever that happens
for sure. But I'm just talking
but
about
right
the
now
next
might
match.
not be too bad. Right now might be okay. Just because of where Rublev is and where Carlos is indoor hard as well. This could just be it might end up being like a career where it ends up being like 15-6 in favor of Carlos.
Yeah, but that's for sure.
But it might be one of those that begins with a Rublev win.
I totally agree with what you're saying, but still I think that if there's you have to beat Carlos today, there is a chance. Let's say like that, in my opinion. If you have to beat him once, probably this is the time. It kind of feel like that. Then of course it's not an easy task, and
yeah. Did you know Carlos before we sort of met on the weekend? Carlos Navarro from the podcast.
We were talking about another Carlos. So
no, not Carlos Alcaraz. Carlos Navarro, who was on the show on Saturday.
Actually, I was just knowing who he is because I saw him on the social, and
okay, but you knew who he was.
Yeah. But it was the first time I let's say met him.
Yeah. He knew you. I mean, but again, probably from social, or YouTube, but he knew you. But you're big, Mario. You're big. randomly, I met Stephen from the Slice a year ago during Paris Bercy, but it was just in a cafe. And I recognized him immediately, and he recognized me, actually. He was like, John Silk. I was like, yep. Which is quite funny. So Medvedev is going to be serving for this at 5-2. Go on, sorry.
Yeah, no, I was saying that I really like when I finally meet people I've known in socials, and it's cool also because let's say that the social life on these platforms is still not as satisfying that the one you can get in person.
Of course,
so it's.
I think I'd like to meet. I mean, I have been to one Medvedev press conference. It was in Madrid, but I think it would be a lot
I
of
did
fun.
a question once.
And
I recorded the answer. 6 minutes. My question actually was, since Medvedev had to face, there was Berrettini out of the group, Sinner entered. I'm actually simply asked him what was his thought about Sinner's improvement in that year and what he was thinking about him, and he answered to the question in 6 minutes. At one point, I was okay, stop. I'm satisfied.
Yeah. That I would love to interview him, and somebody tells me 2 questions, because I'll probably get 15 minutes.
Yeah, sure. But it's nice because it makes you satisfied.
Yeah, of course.
Usually he's really good with the microphone in the press conferences, explaining himself. He seems actually also a really clever person.
Oh yeah. I mean, he's he was asked, as I see, he's got 3 match points now. He was asked about certain players that find press conferences difficult or don't want to do them or whatever. And he said, I can't really empathize, because he said, I love you guys. I love coming to the press conference. He sort of enjoys it. And you can see that. An hour and a half, 6 games. I mean, this set, Rublev has done nothing on the Medvedev serve, really.
No.
I mean, I don't know. I mean, the fall was annoying for him, but I don't think it made much of a difference at the end of the day.
No. It was.
So, Medvedev tops the group with a straight sets win. Zverev will be in 2nd place, but he'll be quite happy with that.
Actually, his first win here since 2021.
Yeah.
He was on a 4-match losing streak in Turin, the final in 2021 and the 3 round robin matches from last year. So
that final loss to Zverev was that final loss to Zverev was a bit weird, no? In that it was so easy.
Zverev was unplayable, honestly.
Yeah.
2021 Zverev was great, and that match he served unbelievably well.
Well, I mean, you win your first match. You're not guaranteed, of course you're not, but you are kind of halfway to the semi-finals, especially if you win it in straight sets, as we said earlier, with Rafa losing that first match in straight sets to Zverev in 2019. That was the problem. If he'd gone 3 sets, and maybe if he'd won one of his other 2 matches in straight sets. Oh, Ruby.
Let me think. It's now Zverev, Rublev. Okay. So if it should be like that, Medvedev is in the semis already if he wins, of course, against Zverev, and Rublev beats Alcaraz, I think, because then it's sure that Alcaraz is out, Medvedev is in, and the 2 guys place each other for the other spot. Instead, for Zverev is different. He has to beat Medvedev and hope that Alcaraz beats Rublev.
I think Medvedev, I often think they have no idea what to do. So Medvedev has just written on the camera, I think, a heart and Italy, I think. So,
I would be like...
I mean, some of them probably think about it before, but then, I think some of them don't. But you don't know. Anyway, poor Ruby, good friends, but it's just the 6 games for him today. Again, Medvedev stamping his authority, so I think it's now 7-2. That head-to-head, I need to refresh the page, which may well tell me that it's 7-2. In fact, very quick, very good. Nitto ATP Finals, you've updated your page to show that it is 7-2. And of course, one of those Rublev wins came a year ago, as we spoke about as the match began. Hi, Prodigy, ENG. Do make sure you hit the like button. Do make sure you subscribe. Give Mario, for example, a follow on X or Twitter or whatever you want to call it. Mario C17. No, Mario BOC17.
Yeah. It's part of my surname. That's why.
Yeah, I've got it now. I should realize that. But anyway, Mario Box 17. And you can also follow Talking Tennis on the social medias too. We even have an Instagram account. I do post from time to time I try and stick to tennis, but every now and again it might be me with a beer on the Instagram. Anyway, I do sometimes post because I don't have a personal Instagram, so every now and again, if I see something amusing, I can't resist, you know.
Yeah. I get that.
So 24 winners from Medvedev to the 19 of Rublev, just 8 unforced errors. That's pretty impressive. No, 8 unforced
Yeah,
errors.
he played great. You know, Rublev is that kind of guy that you focus his attention on him a lot of times when he plays, and maybe Medvedev is the one who gets more under the radar, but he actually played a great performance. Maybe if we consider you know, all the matches, maybe he's even been the most convincing one, despite, you know, the matchups we've seen also. But you know, a very good straight set win, very few mistakes, serving well when it mattered. I don't think we should have asked him more today.
Rublev second serve points won 39%. I mean, it does feel like it's a small issue for Rublev. It feels like
but
Rublev.
This time the issue, in my opinion, was more heavy because Medvedev is not that guy who, you know, really eats your second serve.
No.
It was simply the fact that during the rally, you know, he eats the second serve, so the rally, he engages the rally. And today Medvedev was superior from the baseline. And that explains that a lot, in my opinion.
Well, I think on that note, Mario, we will finish this stream. A big thank you, a big grazie mille for coming on today, Mario.
No, thank you for having me. It's been nice. I needed to talk tonight.
Great. No, I needed to talk tennis, of course. I'm just wondering about ATP Weekly. We probably will have one more for the year. But anyway, I'm sure we'll see you again soon, one way or another, either for a Turin commentary on ATP Weekly or something. The reason why I'm just not sure is I'm trying to get somebody to do an interview with them, probably on Monday. And it will be we'll probably look back on Turin, but I could do 2 shows. I could do an ATP Weekly with you and Damien, and then me do this interview as well. We'll figure it out. But either way, we'll be seeing you again soon. Mario, your opinions and your expertise is always appreciated. So thanks for stopping by.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
And to the rest of the tennis world, you know the drill. If you enjoyed this video, make sure you hit that like button. Don't forget to subscribe and click that notification bell so you don't miss out on all things tennis.